Meanwhile, the International Court of Justice in The Hague has begun hearing a claim by Nicaragua that Germany is, quote, facilitating the commission of genocide in the Gaza Strip. Nicaragua will argue that Germany's support for Israel violates the Geneva Convention. Politicians in Germany think there is little merit in the charges, but the case exposes once again the complex nature of the conflict in the Middle East.
The International Court of Justice in The Hague. Judges here rule in disputes between nations, such as the current case brought by South Africa alleging that Israel is committing genocide in the Gaza Strip. Nicaragua's case before the ICJ is separate but related. It claims Germany is facilitating an Israeli genocide against Palestinians, a charge the German government rejects.
Germany has not violated the Genocide Convention or international humanitarian law, and we will set this out before the International Court of Justice.
But Nicaragua says Germany's decision to defund the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, is costing lives. Germany and other donors suspended funding after allegations some UNRWA employees took part in the October the 7th attacks by Hamas. UNRWA's head, Philippe Lazzarini, has called on Western states to restart payments. But among many politicians in Berlin, attitudes have hardened.
This director of UNRWA is the same guy who said he does not help Hamas. And afterwards, the world found out that under his headquarters, the infrastructure of Hamas was hosted, the servers, the IT stuff. And he said he did not know this. This guy is unbelievable.
Another focus of Nicaragua's case is military assistance to Israel. After the October the 7th attacks, Berlin increased approvals of defense exports to Israel. Berlin's strong support for Israel has led to questions about where the limits of solidarity might be. But some say the Nicaraguan government also wants to distract attention from its own human rights record under the leadership of President Daniel Ortega.
It's obvious, because the day before Nicaragua has brought up this case, they were accused by some experts who brought out a report that accuses Ortega's government in human rights violations in Nicaragua. And that's the way how Ortega and his government can, deviate from this. The case is ridiculous.
The case before the ICJ could take years to conclude. In the meantime, few in Germany believe it will change much on the ground in Gaza.
Our correspondent Lucia Schulten is at the International Court of Justice in The Hague, where the hearing has just begun. Lucia, let's look at the parties involved here. Why is Nicaragua taking Germany to the ICJ? Germany is not the only country supporting Israel militarily, nor the only one to suspend funding for UNRWA.
Well, nevertheless, Germany has been, it's not the only country that stopped the funding for UNRWA, but it has been very vocal in supporting Israel. And we have heard from Chancellor Scholz right after the terrorist attack on October 7 by Hamas that Germany will help Israel and really stands by its side, and that this also comes from German responsibility that it has due to the Holocaust. And therefore, Germany understands itself as a very staunch supporter of Israel. Nevertheless, the tone in Germany has changed over the last couple of weeks, also with regards to civil casualties, but still Germany is considered an ally of Israel next to the United States. And then you have to also see that there's maybe a legal argument for that as well, because Nicaragua can bring Germany here, because Germany has accepted jurisdiction of the court behind me, which is something that the United States has not done.
All right. Now, we heard it there briefly in the report. There hasn't yet been a final ruling at the ICJ on the separate case on whether Israel's actions in Gaza could amount to genocide. So how can Nicaragua then claim in the same court that Germany is, quote, facilitating the commission of genocide against Palestinians?
Yeah, this might indeed be one of the big stumbling blocks in this procedure. Nicaragua is claiming this, among other things. It's claiming that there is a breach of the Genocide Convention, whereas Israel has not yet been accused or not yet been judged to really have breached the Genocide Convention. There has been first cases or first findings by the court behind me that has said there is a risk of the breach of the Genocide Convention, but it has not yet stated that this indeed took place. So this might be a stumbling block for the case that Nicaragua brought, legal scholars say, but also Nicaragua has brought a bit of a wider case. It's also saying that there are violations of other international laws, including international humanitarian law.
And all of this said, Nicaragua, what they want to see are emergency measures to be imposed on Berlin in this case. How likely are they to succeed before the court?
So this case is still really at its very early stages. What's happening here today are hearings about the so-called provisional measures. Among these provisional measures is that Nicaragua asked the court to order Germany to stop its military assistance, but also to start funding UNRWA in the Gaza Strip again. The court is not bound to what Nicaragua is asking it to do, so it could also find other provisional measures, or it could also decide to not grant any provisional measures at all.
That was Lucia Schulten in The Hague. Thank you so much for that update.